Everyone's been asking, and yes, it's true. There was another Sky Striker that did top eight our San Jose regionals this past weekend, and yes, it did main deck Mystic Mine. What's going on, you guys? So I'm here to bring you guys another top eight deck profile from that regionals in California that I did attend myself. The sixth place list was piloted by my boy Craig. He broke his curse. He's been getting so close every regionals, like every event he attends. He's definitely one of the best striker players that I know in the area. Definitely someone that I hold in high accord when it comes to this game. And for people who don't know, whenever I go to locals, he is the reason. One of the main locals I go to in Concord, California. I'm always going there hoping to play him because I know whenever I play him, it's going to be some really good play testing. And I've learned a lot just in the games that him and I have had over the months and formats. But yeah, he broke a curse. He got sixth place. Really proud of him. I think his list was very solid. I think his choice to main deck Mystic Mine was insane. We already know Mystic Mine was the deck that won our regional. Y'all saw the profile. But people were talking about this card and hyping it as Sky Strikers. If you've been watching M. Cole 40's channel and other channels, this is not a new concept, but this is something that when you're a striker player, it's just another layer to the deck that I think really presents like kind of a cool aspect since you are kind of a one monster deck. I know in some people's eyes they think it's degenerate, but Mystic Mine by itself is just, I mean, it's a card, and if your deck can abuse it, you play it. People ask, why do decks still play Azathoth? I mean, it's because you can abuse it. And, not only that, you don't even have to get to this card to win. Like, you literally will win doing Sky Striker things. So I think this was just a really good meta call. He's been on Strikers forever. As long as I've known him, playing this deck, he has not wavered at all, and he just constantly, improves. With every single tournament he plays, he pretty much wins every locals we go to. And yeah, no, he's one of the best striker players I know. And shout out to him for sending me his list, and I have his match breakdown as well. So we will get into it, you guys. So for his hand traps of choice, he main deck just 3 Ash Blossom and 3 Valor. This is pretty, standard, I would say. You guys saw Kenny's deck profile as well. What I liked about this is that Ash, of course, is the most generic hand trap. It's just good against almost everything. Like I always say, you will find something to Ash. There is some point in the game, in the combo, whatever deck you're playing against, Ash will be the make or break for you. So I really like that. Valor, same thing. Valor, what I really like is you can use it more than once per turn. You're not reliant on it as much as Infinite Impermanence with not having back row. So or not having anything going second. I really like this. It being multiple per turn is great. And then of course 3 Ray, because Ray is still Bay. That's it for the monsters. Spells, you play 2 Call by the Grave. This is standard. I mean, there's hand traps all around, so being able to Call by the Grave them is great. This also is really versatile against every match. I think Call by the Grave, like I mentioned before, is just good against everything because you're able to just hit cards out of the graveyard, banish them, negate the effects for the whole turn. And it's not just hand traps. You can hit dangers. You can hit any kind of monster that activates its effect in grave. And, cutting them off from that Nessie search can be huge. Like, you can snipe the danger and negate the danger in the same turn. Like, that's, like, utterly insane. Like, trust me, it's happened before. Like, getting your Nessie called by the grave is crazy, especially if it was the danger that got sniped because, like, you lose a lot. You lose a lot of advantage at that point. Plus, in the mirror match, I mean, you call by the grave Ray. I mean, they don't have a leg to stand on. So very solid card. And then the aforementioned Mystic Mine. So we'll talk about this for a little bit. What I've deduced from this, and I've seen like striker players that have played this your deck is very similar to the strategy of what's known as a 1v1 deck. This was something that Bujins originally started with Kaiser Coliseum. Pretty much the same thing. If you notice, you go from Rei into Kagari, Shizuku, Hayate, Kano, whatever it is, but you're only ever having one monster. The only time you have multiple monsters is when you're usually trying to end the game. You're usually trying to go into Boral Sword. You're usually trying to just end the game right then and there. But this card gives you the ability to just kind of stall that out, get to your win conditions, draw to your advantage. And Strikers is an advantage deck, you guys. You guys already know it's a card economy deck. The more economy you have, the better it is. The more surplus you have on your opponent, the better it is, and that's usually how it goes. This card gives you the ability to also just kind of punch with Hayate, and I mean, I know that sounds so ridiculous, and I mean, it's true. I've played against it online. Getting punched by Hayate and not being able to do anything kind of sucks. So Mystic Mine, I mean, in this deck, I know the card is just so stupid, but I think like Striker has found another card for their deck. It's not the replacement for Kagari by any means, but it's definitely another layer, like I said, to the deck. So it was very interesting to see that he played it and did this well. Desire, self-explanatory. You want that +1. I know people are scared to play this card, but you need cards that are good at any point of the game. And cards like Foolish Burial Goods, while they do fuel the Metalfoes Fusion. The Metalfoes Fusion is a complete brick when you open with it. Setting it sucks. Like, yes, you can combo it with multi-roll, you can combo with the field spell, but I think most players would rather just get that +1, and they probably just like to draw 2. I mean, it sounds good to me. Rhoda, self-explanatory. It's your 4th Ray. You got the 2 field spell. He did max out on field spells. He didn't really need to. He does have the 2 field spells. He does have the 2 terraforming, and he is playing mine as another option. So you do have the ability to just play 2 and be fine. The 1-ofs, the 1 afterburners, the 1 jamming waves, those are standard. 2 ego booster. I think this card is still pretty standard. I mean, you just want your links to survive, and this pretty much just says they're unaffected by everything, so it's good. Self-explanatory. 1-of Shark Cannon. This is something we've also seen. Players are playing 2 of this. I think it's really good because you're able to just reborn Kagaris in the mirror match. You're able to just kind of snipe away any kind of like card that's in the graveyard at any point from your opponent. I've seen striker matches before where they'll take Goliath, they'll lock their opponent out of, special summoning, and it can be game. They'll take away, Hitas, they'll take away anything in the graveyard and just be able to, just win from there. It's another way to help you just make Boral Sword for game 2, because, the deck has the ability to do that, and I think a lot of people forget about that, even though it should be common knowledge. The 3 Widow Anchor, which is the bane of all of our existence, including mine. This card is just so insane. I mean, there's nothing else to say. This card is great. 3 Multi-Roll, it's still the best card in the deck. I thought they really would hit this on the list. They didn't. They hit Kagari instead. Why would you not still play 3? This card is the deck, basically. And then the 1 Hercules base, this card is fine. I know a lot of people go back and forth on playing this card or not. It pretty much is how you manage your resources. And I know Craig already knows how to manage his resources, but I think this is just that added versatility that this card has. Not only that, being able to punch over 2 monsters is nice. I think that's the one thing. Everyone looks at Hercules base and just thinks of it as a recycle game. They're not looking at it as, you can clear 2 monsters with 1 card. It's pretty nice. I like that a lot about the card. I think a lot of people don't pay attention to that, and I think that's something that people should kind of be focusing on, is that you do get to clear more than 1 monster with this card. So I like it a lot, and you can draw a card, so it's pretty nice. Of course, the namesake of the deck that just gets everything rolling. The 2 terraforming, because you have 4 fields this time, so it's pretty nice. And then the 3 metaverse, because metaverse plus metaverse plus mine is really nice. I think you could also at some point just have metaverse and your area 0. I don't know how often that might come up. It could be an end phase thing, just so that you have it for the next turn. It gets it out of your deck, thins your deck, and lets you draw, kind of like, in a sense, like you might have a better chance of drawing another card that's better than drawing the field spell. So really like it. Clean 40. I think the list is great. Not being a striker player, I think honestly there isn't anything that I would honestly change, and I think the list is very, very solid. And I think this is like what the standard is going to be for Mind Striker going forward. His side deck, of course, the Triple Lancia, like we say every profile, this is the God card against Orcus. Also really good against Danger Thunder. Any deck that banishes, this card is just really solid. You have the 2 DD Crow. DD Crow is really nice, really good against Salmon Great, really good against pretty much any kind of deck. Like, you can crow anything, which I really like, is people think it's only a monster. It's not. It's any card in the graveyard. So it can be really good in the mirror match too, being able to crow back when they do summon the Kagari, trying to recycle the engage, and you just crow it away. They can be out of luck, and that can be all she wrote. So pretty solid. 2 Ogres. This card is versatile. It's good against multi-roll in the mirror match. It's good against the Danger Thunder deck. Hitting the Saryuja off the board is huge. Hitting the Guard Dragons off the board and leaving them under the Dragon Lock is huge. This card is just good against a lot of things. So I think this card is pretty standard as far as hand traps go. 3 Shared Ride. This is obviously for the mirror match. Card is like Max C in the mirror match. Just you usually win whenever you flip this card. 3 Twin. Twin is, of course, proving itself, as it always does almost every format. Just good in the mirror, good against back row decks, good against, the Mind deck. Like, that's the thing, too, is, like, you need outs to the Mind deck. And I feel Strikers has one of the best Mind matches, because they can get monsters off the board quite easily. So I feel like the actual Mystic Mind burn deck does kind of struggle against Striker, especially when it's piloted properly. So I think this card is just added removal that's necessary in the deck at all times. And then just to, go with that, Heavy Storm Duster. I mean, you go first, you set this, pop 2. I mean, against the mind deck, it's ridiculous. So this card is really good. You can preemptively hit the metaverse before they even get to flip it, and I mean, if they set it end of your turn, just flip it, blow them out, and that could be all she wrote. So that is for the side deck. And then his extra deck. We're gonna come to this card last, but we got the Boral Sword. Basically kills the opponent. Hida, really good in the mirror, just good in general. Salmon, great stuff. Phoenix, versatile removal. And Girsu, non-targeting removal. Your 3 Hayates, like I said, this plus mine is kind of ridiculous. If they only control 1 monster, you have a ton of monsters. They're just gonna keep poking you. Like literally, they're just gonna keep poking you. 15, 15, 15 is so ridiculous. I know you guys have seen how some lists in Japan are playing cards like Mage Power and some ridiculous things like that to really just bump Hayate up to like a billion. But yeah, 15, 15, 15 will get you there in the long run as well, especially when you're playing a really control game with that in mind and all your back row. Plus, stealing the monsters with Widow Anchor can be gained too. Your 1 Kagari, it's at 1, but you use it at the most versatile time. You use it when you need it, and you have the ability to bring back others in the mirror, and you have the ability to recycle it with your Hercules base. The 2 Kaina, this card is still really good. This card is good in time. This card is just good for stunning attacks. Like I remember the first time this card was used against me, and I realized, great, I can't attack. Like, that literally sucks. That really does hinder your plays. So I think this card's still really good. 3 Shizuku, that's standard. 1 Triple Burst, this is good in the mirror. Just punch over their link, no Ray floats, no graveyard interactions and stuff. So this card's pretty nice. And then the card he played, and I know he told me that there was a striker list at the ARG that played this, but yeah, this, if you guys don't know, is what is it? Ambitious Swarm Ship Amblo Whale. I just call it the Whale. This card is a fire monster too. We didn't even realize that. That's pretty nice. This card is a Link 4. It takes just 2+ effect monsters, and it reads gains 200 attack for each Link monster in the graveyards. So not only yours, your opponent's. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. So if this card is destroyed, you're able to target 1 Link 3 or lower monster in either player's graveyard, special summon it. So I could see where if this card is destroyed, or you're able to spin it away off of any of your cards, you can just get a Kagari back in the mirror. You're also able to you can get one back in the mirror. You can get your Kagari back. I feel that this is just another way to recycle Kagari, and I think a lot of people are going to start to catch on to this. And then its other effect says, if a Link 3 or lower monster is on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card from the graveyard, destroy 1 card on the field. So it has the ability to pop a card too. So this card's really cool. I think a lot of people just don't acknowledge it enough, but it's definitely something we might see going forward. And it's pretty big. It starts at 2,600, and it's going to gain more points based on the amount of Link monsters in the grave, and you play a ton of them. So I can see this card really being a hell of a beat stick, and just a really cool card in general. But just to end with his matches real quick, so round 1 he beat Dinosaurs, round 2 he beat True Draco, round 3 he beat Orcus, round 4 he beat Salad, round 5 he beat Burn, round 6 he lost to Solomon Great, round 7 he beat Salad, round 8 he beat Orcus, and round 9 he beat the Mirror. So that is it, you guys. That is my boy Craig's 6th place San Jose Regional deck profile. He just wants to give shout out to EQ. That's our locals in Concord, California. Andy Sang, Wesley, Tyler, Dimitri, and Brandon, all people that I know he tests with and that help him theorize the deck. And yeah, really proud of you, bro. Congratulations on your top. It was a long time coming. Definitely deserved. You really pilot decks well, and you really stayed dedicated to this deck. Format after format after format, and it really shows when you stick with something, just how successful you can be. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.